G'day, AJ.
G'day, Mo. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
That's
Had a
good.
bit of a break, but I'm back.
You've
Um,
had a little bit of a break. Yeah.
had a little bit of a dicky. I don't know what rhymes with guts. Bit of a
Stuffed guts.
stuffed guts, but I'm back.
Oh, well, it's good to have you back, mate. I'm sorry you had some stuffed guts,
That's right.
but you're on the mend.
We are, and apologise
Yeah.
to our viewers if any burping happens during this recording. I will try my best not
We'll
to, but
mute it in
it's
post
part of the stuffed
production.
guts.
Part of the
No,
stuffed
we should
gut.
put it. We should put it in. It's lowbrow gags. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, that's
Farts,
right.
farts, and
And
burps.
burps. Yeah, that's right. We are all human. We are all but human.
We are.
And every song that we analyze belies that, right?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
100%.
Well, I'm glad you're human and I'm glad you're back. Truth be told, I'm a bit knackered at the moment. I'm a bit tired. I'm just hitting
Mm.
that hump this part of the year. You know that hump when winter's
Hmm.
been around for too
Hmm.
long, you know, and it would
Needs to get
just
out.
get out. I'm going to evict you. Get out, winter.
Yeah.
Right? You got look, listen, I know that you're necessary for the earth's movements and the seasons are necessary
Hmm.
for our water levels and for our very survival, but get out.
GTFO.
I'm GTFO. I'm done. I'm done with
Yeah.
you. So I'm just at the tail end of my case of the SADS, which is
Yeah.
seasonal affective disorder. Well, no, I'm not really disordered, but yeah, I'm I need a holiday, I think.
Mm.
So, while you had sick guts, I enjoyed the little break. But we will be having I'll be having a bigger break later on. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. I don't know if anyone out there can relate to like the tail end of winter.
Hmm.
It's just relentless. You
Hmm.
know, we are three-quarters of the way through the year.
It's funny, like Christmas, you think like, oh, like let's get excited for Christmas. But I don't know about you, but me, I'm like, towards the end of the year, I'm done. I'm like knackered. I'm like, it's just like
Yeah,
I know I should be excited. It's the end of the year, and but I'm
right.
just like, nah.
Too
I'm just
tired to even enjoy Christmas, right?
mm,
You're like that
mm,
meme of that poor marathon runner that falls down towards the finish line and
yeah,
then they're just like dragging themselves with
yeah.
their arms
So
to the
close,
finish
so close.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
reckon my conspiracy theory, right?
Oh.
I swear that
Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. All right, go on.
sure, sure. But I reckon that the seasons are out by like a month.
Yeah,
So
totally.
even though winter's over, where
Yeah.
spring's probably not going to hit till like October or like the end of September.
You know, you're right. I have noticed a bit of a shift of seasons over my very long life to just that being a little bit later
Mm,
than
I reckon.
anticipated, or yeah, yes, things starting a little bit later than
Mm,
anticipated. I think we
yeah.
need to get rid of this. What are the seasons? December to, is that
No. So summer is November to February.
no?
No, November. No. Oh, yeah, December,
No,
January,
it's
February.
yeah. I think we need to put summer in like January now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
particularly in
February, like,
Melbourne.
yeah, because February, March are like real, like the hottest, I reckon.
Yeah,
Like that's when like
totally.
summer really peaks.
Yeah, totally. I
Mm.
mean, I wonder if like there could be complete anarchy in the world and we could just like every region could set its own seasons. So for Victoria, we we're just going to bring it we're just going to bring in, you know, summer starting the
Mm.
season cycle in January.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
like just like Queensland says no to daylight saving,
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
right?
I like
It's
that.
just
Yeah.
seasonal anarchy. Anarchy
Yeah.
with the seasons.
Yeah.
Go
I like
your
it.
own way, which was what was happening during the era of the song that we're about
Mm.
to explore today.
Pure anarchy.
Pure
And not just with the band, or not
oh,
or the genre of the band, but the time that the this lovely, or not lovely, this awesome band brought this hit album out that just blew up everywhere.
Well, go ahead, drum chucks. D- don't hold out on the
Oh,
people. Let them know.
you sure? All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're analyzing songs on the couch. Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day from their 2004 album American Idiot.
Amazing.
Hmm
I say it every time. It's a good song. It's a great tune.
It's well, that just that album in general. Like I think, it, look, prior to that album, Green Day were popular. You know, I wouldn't. They were punk. Well, they've always been punk rock, but they were punk rock popular. But now, when this album came out, they
Hmm.
were arena rock popular. Like they just blew up
They
everywhere.
blew up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was quite the album for the times, wasn't it?
Mm, yeah. It's like you could compare it to like Night of the Opera, Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like they were popular before then, but that album is what saw them from like most people knowing them to like everyone knowing
Everybody
them.
knowing them.
So like everyone knows Green Day now because I
They
think because of that album.
they took off.
Yeah. They got
Yes.
followers, all new followers that
Yeah.
obviously then went back in their back catalogue, but it was almost like this you could almost say this was their first album that just
Hmm.
took them off. Yeah.
The breakout album to superstardom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge superstar.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
was going on in 2004? Far
Wow.
out. Do we look back and cringe? Is it cringeworthy?
Yeah. Well, it all stems from 2001.
What was going on
Uh,
then?
well, we had a tragic event of the Twin Towers in America, 2001,
Yes, right.
September 11,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
under the George Bush presidential era.
Uh-huh.
And from there, it just went all downhill.
Right. There was
World politics.
world politics were yeah, were uh the hot topic of everybody's mind, that we from there we had, a war. There was a war. United States
Hmm
was at war with the Middle East.
hmm
That was globally happening. And but a certain subculture was also emerging at the same time, wasn't it?
It was. Well,
Well,
it probably didn't probably really emerge until 2006, 2000, yeah, 6, which was the emo
yeah,
the punk emo scene, which I think, Green Day were probably one of the first ones that brought that scene, even though they were punk. When you look
yeah,
at those film clips of them, they're in like, they've got like that emo-ish makeup and their songs are quite, you can almost say punk emo.
emotional emo.
Punk emotional,
It
very
was
emotional.
it was the rise of the emo and the sad boy culture. It's
Hmm
they were sort of they were emo adjacent, I
They
think.
were. Yeah, yeah.
Certainly, you know, pop punk, but emo adjacent. A little bit of a flavor, but it was certainly the MySpace era, and
Mhm.
there was a lot of that sad boy culture happening in the MySpace era, and so while they may not have been specifically emo, I think that their music resonated with that crowd.
Well, that and all if you go back and look at American Idiot promotional like photos, they're all in like skinny black jeans, mascara, tight dyed black hair,
Hmm.
um, uh, Doc Martens, like
Yeah,
even though Doc Martens were punk before, like
yeah.
they were reimagined in the emo phase, but
They
like
well,
chains on the, do you remember wearing chains,
chains on
baggy
the
chains on
belt.
your jeans, yeah,
Yeah,
on your belt,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
vest, like,
Right.
almost
It
dressed up but not dressed up,
it was
yeah,
certainly a style. I mean, everyone's hair had side bangs that were flat ironed to within an inch of their lives,
fringe to cover one eye,
right across the
yeah,
face.
Yeah, yeah.
But, it was a time of big feelings. It was big, this big emotions, right? Because there was a lot of injustice, going on in the world. Lots of,
Mm,
uh, things happening politically that were, distasteful to a lot of people that they had lots of feelings about. So
yeah. They didn't
those
really.
feelings,
No,
sorry,
no,
you
keep going.
go.
No, no,
No,
no, no.
you go.
Oh,
No,
well, I was gonna
you
say.
go.
Oh, all right then. I was gonna say, yeah. The average American probably didn't want or choose. Obviously, they understand it's sad what's happened, but they probably didn't want the aftermath of what was to come. They're like, no, we don't want more of this.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I think the world had seen enough wars, right? The world had
Yeah,
seen enough political unrest. I'm not going to speak too much to that because I really don't know too much about world politics, right? But I do
no.
know that wars always seem senseless to me. It always seems like someone feels a little bit powerless and is trying to grab power, you
Hmm.
know. And the way that they do that is that they harm a lot of people in their way. And anyway, no wonder people of the era had big feelings about,
Mm.
the war that was going on in the Middle East that the US government was hemorrhaging money into.
Hmm.
And so people were having a lot of big feelings about that. Anger and sadness and big feelings were not just tolerated, they were welcomed and they became aesthetic.
And that's what this album
Yeah.
is. It's a concept punk opera album about a fictional character that goes through all of that.
Right. It's a commentary.
Rebellion, post 9/11 rebellion.
Right. Say more. Are we up to interesting tidbits?
Well, I feel like we've kind of we went straight into interesting tidbits
Did
without
we?
the theme
Okay.
song. So we'll
All
just
right.
continue on.
Carry on. Tell me
We'll just
all about the interesting tidbits about American Idiot and Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Well, I was going to say, we'll give a bit of backstory about Green Day because it's not just
Oh
that
yeah.
album that
Tell
you
me.
know, well they've been going since 1986. So you know, artists, bands are out there. You know, it does take a good 20 years before you hit that peak rock arena
Yeah.
status. It doesn't.
It doesn't happen overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight sensation. People who get
Well,
called overnight sensations usually go, yeah, it's taken the last 10 years for me to become an overnight sensation.
yeah, or they become or they're a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, what about the other four albums that I created before this hit that took off in the
Yeah,
charts? Yeah.
that's right. Well, thankfully,
Yeah.
you know, they've never had a bad album leading up to that. I must admit, I haven't really listened to much of their stuff past American Idiot because obviously,
Hmm.
being in that era of the 90s and the early 2000s, so I haven't listened to their most modern stuff. Um,
Hmm.
but their subliminal albums leading up to it, you know, they're pure 90s punk. That's what they were. They were a punk band. And then just
Hmm.
became a mainstream punk band, which a lot of diehard fans uh, were kind of like, "Oh, you sold out, man! You sold out to the man." But they were just like, "Well, our songs are just becoming popular. We're still doing punk songs. They're just becoming, they're no longer becoming underground popular punk songs. They're becoming mainstream popular punk songs."
Yeah, well, maybe they became mainstream popular punk songs because people resonated with what they were saying. They resonated with the key themes of their of what they had to say, like things about,
Yeah.
um apathy and consumerism and like particularly with American Idiot, I suppose, blind
Hmm.
nationalism without it, people just following along and
Hmm.
uh
Doing what they're being told.
yeah, do it without any critical thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It
It's crazy. Well, this album, it was the first punk rock album to win a Grammy, which won
Right.
a Grammy in 2006. So it's done well, and this song is the most well, it's played. Let me start again. Since Boulevard of Broken Dreams have come out, they've played it at every single show. Like it's constantly on the set list. Like they might take other
Right.
tracks on or off, but this song is always on the set list.
Yeah, maybe because people resonate with it so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So concept album, as mentioned, punk
Yeah.
rock opera tells the story of a character named Jesus of Suburbia, which is another song on their album.
Hmm.
The album became a Broadway stage show as well.
Wow. I did not
Um,
know that. That is very
yeah,
interesting.
it came to Australia. Uh, it came out in 2010, so I'm sure it's been in Australia. I'm sure it's come over, but it's
Wow.
popular on Broadway for sure. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Um,
That's
yeah.
so
The
interesting.
album, the song name, which I didn't know. So Boulevard of Broken. I keep saying Boulevard. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Do you remember that? Do you know that famous painting of like the people sitting in that lonely diner?
Yeah.
And and as you look, you're looking at it from like the street, like
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
apparently there's a parody of that um, original painting, which the people sitting on it has like they're different. So there's like Marilyn Monroe, um,
Yes.
James Dean. Like there's a parody of that, which has
Yeah.
those actors in it. That parody of that painting is called Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Wow. Well, there you go. And
So
that's where it
that's
came
where
from.
so that's where Billy Joel got the
Billy Joe,
name of the
not Billy
song.
Joel.
Billy Billy Joe. Billy,
You're
they're so close.
you're
I'm
so
growing
stuck
up
in
to
the
know that.
90s. You know you're not, but you're so stuck in the no, not the 90s. You're stuck in the
80s,
70s, the
70s.
80s. Yeah.
Yeah,
When was Piano Man? That was that the late 70s, early
late
80s?
70s. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
79,
So
80.
so it makes sense that you'd turn Billy Joe into Billy Joel, doesn't it?
Hey,
It
they're
checks
both great.
out.
They're both great artists. So
And great
we're just
songwriters.
that's it.
Amazing
Yeah,
songwriters with a lot of depth and a lot to say, right?
that's it. 100%. Well, both of them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anyway, what were you saying? We were talking
yeah.
about
So
the yeah,
Billy
go on.
Joe,
Yeah.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yes.
That's where I got the idea of Boulevard of Broken Dreams is from that painting.
Right. Okay. Well, when I think of that painting, I also think about the dogs at the bar. Do you know that?
Yeah, yeah. Or the dogs playing poker.
Yeah, playing poker or playing pool.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they
It's
are they
like that.
playing pool?
I feel
Yeah.
yeah, playing pool or play. And I don't know about you, but I feel like every '90s household had that painting on their wall of either the dogs playing the poker
The
or
poker, yeah.
the picture of the diner with the
Yeah.
people sitting on the diner.
Yeah, yeah. Or a Marilyn Monroe picture.
Yes.
Or a James Dean
Yeah.
one. Or yeah,
Yeah. James
it was
Dean.
very
Yeah.
90s, very
Yeah.
90s. Anyway, we digress. We're here for
Everything was
2000.
and everything in the
So,
house was black and white. Like you had like white tiles with like black leather furniture. Like I feel like that's all I
yeah.
remember of '90s household is like
Uh-huh.
James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, and like black and white
Yeah.
furniture.
It's so true. We lived in this house in Preston.
Mm,
um, in this era, like we were in this house in Preston between 2003 and 2007, I think.
yeah,
Very 90s reno that happened
yeah.
in this house. So this house had black tiles and a black sunken spa, which there
Oh,
was a
cool.
shower over,
Yeah.
and there was like a phone point next to the spa.
Okay.
And yes,
Was there a TV? Was there a TV point as well? Like
no,
I feel
I
like
don't
that
know.
was
I
also
don't think there was a TV point, but there was.
TVs in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was very 90s, wasn't it? Like those
Yeah.
TV arms that you could,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could bolt a TV to. But yes, it was black tiles, and then I think it had like a white tile trim up the top. But yeah, this sunken spa bath with the phone point, very 90s. Anyway, but we're in 2004 to 2006 here,
We are.
so
We are.
we'll move back to that.
Well, people were still living in 90s houses in the 2000s. It's not like
True.
we hit the 2000s and then we're like, oh, we got a whole new decor
No,
app. Like, I think people
yeah.
were still.
Yeah, there was a whole lot
Another
of
thing
renos.
yeah, I remember going back to spa bath. Like, like every house had like the above ground spa bath, but it was like that corner diamond shaped spa bath that sat in the corner, and you had to like
Yeah.
step up into it. Like every
Oh,
house had. I feel like every house had that.
yeah, that was a very 90s reno.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of Sizzler. Do you remember
Ah,
Sizzler restaurants?
all
I
you can
mean,
eat.
for our international listeners, I think you should Google images Sizzler, and you'll
Hmm.
see the 90s epitome decor.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're not
of
here
all
for
you
the
can eat.
90s. We are all
We're
you can
not
eat. We're here for the early 2000s.
early
To
2000s.
early 2000s with the flat iron fringes, the chain, the wallet
Hmm.
chain belt
Yeah,
clip,
yeah. The studded
the
leather belt.
studded
Yeah.
leather belt, the nail polish, the black nail
Oh, yeah, black
polish,
nail polish,
black
mascara,
yeah, mascara, yep, the fingerless gloves, s-
spiky wristbands.
wristbands
Oh,
with
and chokers.
and chokers, yeah. I think the US, the look was kind of peddled via a merchandiser called Hot Topic. In Australia, it might have been like Dangerfield.
Dangerfield. Off your
Uh,
tree.
Off Your Tree, yes, they had the subculture uh,
I remember
items.
Dangerfield though. Yeah, Dangerfield.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, and we are, yep. That MySpace, when social media was in its awkward adolescence, you could, you know, rank your friends
Five
in your
friends. You
top
had five friends.
your top five or your top eight or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You
sure it was
could
like top five.
top
Yeah.
five something, yeah. You could even autoplay a bit of Boulevard of Broken Dreams if you wanted to, with
Hmm.
some glittery gifs in the background,
Yeah.
just lighting up the screen. You could copy and paste the lyrics into the About Me, uh,
Yeah.
to make yourself look deep and meaningful.
Yeah. You could essentially create your own MySpace. You could create your own website. You could do your own backgrounds, your own
Yeah.
fonts. It was. I miss MySpace.
And well, it was kind of, the emotional expression of your online brand. It was your first online brand where you could
It
reveal
was.
yourself and the things
Yeah.
that you're feeling. And I think it laid the groundwork for sort of emotional oversharing.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
but emotional
Yeah.
oversharing was welcome,
It was.
be, because it was the emo era.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, this song actually it became viral on MySpace because somebody mashed up uh, Boulevard of Broken Dreams with like Oasis like Wonderwall, like because they're very similar chord structures. So
Oh,
this is like became viral before viral became viral. If that
viral.
makes viral, if
Right.
that makes sense. Like
So,
viral is what we know now as viral, but like
so it
yeah,
was
like
an
everyone
OG of virality
yeah, yeah,
or viralness, or I don't
viralness,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Or like early mashups of like do you remember like the radio used to do their own mashups of it was
Mm.
more like R&B mashups, but yeah,
Of songs that were in the same tempo with the same
yeah,
key kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Okay, so Boulevard of Broken Dreams and
and one,
Wonderwall.
yeah.
I wonder how Billy Joe Armstrong felt about that.
Well, it was more Noel Gallagher of Oasis that
Of course
got
it
really
was.
that got really grumpy about it.
Of course he did.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course he. Yeah, he's always been a little
You've
bit.
gone. This is effing garbage. I
He's
feel like
always
that's
been
just
a.
grumpy old
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he's been always been a little bit oppositional and combative, hasn't he? A bit
Yeah,
contrary.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Of course he did. Of course he thought it was garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Right,
So
well, there you go. That's an interesting tidbit.
very interesting. Yeah. So after
Mm,
this, we have listeners go find the Boulevard of Broken Dreams mashup to Wonderwall, and I
yeah,
haven't personally heard it. I
yeah.
didn't know about it, but I'll have to go listen and be like, oh, see how true it is. Like if it's actually a good mashup or not.
Right? I'm sure it exists in some corner of the internet, and while you're there looking stuff up, get on Google Images and Google image
Mm,
search Hot Topic clothes, Dangerfield clothes, and Sizzler.
yeah.
And you'll get a nice view of the 90s aesthetic and the early 2000s aesthetic,
Yeah.
particularly in terms of fashion. Right.
Yeah.
Any more interesting tidbits?
Well, no, I was gonna say, were you a subject of that wearing going down that phase, or were you past that phase?
Well, I think we
Did
talked
you
about
did you
this off
did you
off
did you
air.
dabble did you dabble in the punk emo look?
Look, I may have had a graphic tee or two.
Yeah,
I may have, yes, like a t-shirt with some kind of, graphic on it that represented the era. Uh,
like a band tee.
Maybe a band tee or, you know, or that kind of, gothic punk sort of
Mm-hmm.
patterns. I mean, I can conjure it up in my mind, but I can't quite describe it.
Mm, mm, mm,
Printed on a t-shirt.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I think I gave up wearing chokers in the 90s. And I may have had some tartan slacks during
Oh, that's
the
right. Tartan was back too. I remember that. Red tartan was back in. Yeah,
I may have had some tartan
yeah,
slacks. But
yeah.
beyond that, I mean, we were talking about our ages and I was heading towards 30. So I was in a job, in a
Yeah,
career. It
yeah.
was I was
Looking
adulting
quite.
hard. I was
Mm,
adulting like real hard. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I didn't it was kind of a bit behind me and my era. What about you?
I was probably right in the middle of it. I tried
Yeah.
to try hard to look like that, but I
AJ, did
did.
you have eyeliner? Did you have
I
some
no,
mascara?
I didn't have makeup, but I tried to grow my hair, and my hair just did not I
Too
tried to grow
much
it
of a
long
wave
and
in it?
emo. Yeah. Oh, just
Too,
too much boof. It just didn't
just
work. And
right.
I didn't have a fringe thick enough. Like it was like these individual strands that just went down like
Oh,
this.
like
Like
a
I had like
comb over.
like a really bad separated. It was almost like that.
Right.
And covering
Okay.
like a bit of my eye.
Like
Yeah.
just fingers across your forehead for
Pretty
the
much.
for the
Yeah.
people listening, not
Yeah.
watching.
Just spread your palm and put it on your forehead, and that's how my hair
And
was.
that's
My
how
fringe was. But
your
I
try hard emo fringe.
Yeah, but I always wore like skinny black jeans and black like band tees. So I was like you.
Yeah.
I was kind of early
On
2000s.
on
That
the
was me anyway.
fringes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the fringe. I didn't go like full
Yeah.
emo, you know, no makeup or
No.
anything. No, and no black nail polish or anything. But
Yeah. I got into the black nail polish. I did do that. I will say that much.
yeah,
But it was manicured from a salon, not self-applied, because I
yeah,
was because I was gainfully employed in a career
mm,
at that
mm,
stage, which is
mm.
kind of giving away my age. But I think
That's
I
all
think
right.
the long-term listeners, the three of them that we have out there so far, would know that I've hinted at my age a lot.
Yeah. Look, I was employed too.
Oh,
I
were
was
you?
employed. I was in my early startings of employment, but I was
Oh,
still employed. Like I still had
what were
to.
you doing?
I was work. My first proper job was at a law firm in the mailroom, so suit and tie. So I
Right,
couldn't
so
really
you,
dress punk emo at that.
oh,
In
there
that,
was
no,
there was no room for mascara there.
no. No way.
There's no room for anti-establishment
All
there.
I could do was the hair. That was all I could kind of have is the hair, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there you
Oh, and
go.
the fingerless gloves. I had fingerless gloves, and I wore like
Well,
can't
well, was
like.
it cold down in the mail room? Is that why you had...
I just thought it was cool. I thought the hobo look was cool. I guess I was wearing trench coats and fingerless gloves. That was my look of the 2004.
Right. As you did you used to get the V line into the city?
No, because I didn't I where I lived I wasn't on the V line. I was on the Metro line.
Oh, you're on the Metro line, right? So you used to...
I was so my outfit. I know we're going off topic. I was obsessed with the Matrix. So I had like trench coat, like black black skinny jeans. Like I thought I was cool, like Neo from the Matrix. The
Right.
glasses and yeah.
Yeah, well, Neo was goals. I can see it, you know.
The Matrix was yeah, awesome
Yeah.
movie. So
Okay. All right. So, but not
yeah,
quite emo. More,
no,
more Neo, less emo.
yes, that's it. I like that.
Right. Okay.
That
All
needs to be a
right.
slogan: more Neo, less emo.
There you go.
That's it.
You can have it. You can have it for
Thanks,
free. Yeah,
Ta.
no
I appreciate it.
worries. Yeah. So, any further interesting tidbits before we think about the psychology of this song?
Wow. No, I think you know,
Yeah.
if you don't know who Green Day is, you need to
Get on it,
look up,
don't
get
ya?
on it. Yeah.
Get on
And I
it.
would, you know what? And I would, and a lot of fans are going to hate me for this. And I would probably start with this album and then work your way
And
backwards.
work your way back. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, okay, because it really is, it is a social commentary, right, of what was going on at the time, but I think musically
Yeah.
it's a bit of a masterpiece as well. I think they found their form, hit their
Mm-hmm.
stride by this album,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I think it speaks to, if we're thinking about was going on in at the time of its release,
Yeah.
during that era, we were in a bit of a Middle Eastern war fatigue. I think that young people were becoming politically conscious for the first time, kind
Yeah.
of understanding some of the arbitrary nature of these wars and conflicts that were going on, and thinking about, what's it all for, and we're
Mm.
hemorrhaging money into these wars, but yet people at home are suffering and walking the boulevard of broken dreams
Mm.
while we're out, yeah, channeling money into wars that don't really matter, and not looking after our own. So I think
I
that...
feel like, I don't keep going.
No, you go.
No, you go now.
No, you go.
I would, I was just going to say, this album is 2004 is what punk was doing in the late 70s in Britain with the whole Margaret Thatcher government, saying you don't have like
Yeah.
you don't owe the government anything. You don't have to listen to them. You can be your own person. I feel like this is what they were doing for the Americans in 2004, what the British were doing, well, the British bands were doing for the British people or the young British generation of the late
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is very observant. I think you're right. I think
Mm.
this album really tried to spark uh, young people's sort of, the cycle
Awareness.
awareness, and the psychological construct of metacognition, like thinking about the way that you think,
Mm.
or thinking. That's what metacognition is. It's like it was asking us to think about our stance on things, and think about, why are we not thinking
Mm.
about stuff, what... So yes, I do think it was a very call to action kind of album and song. It was about, yeah, it was asking young people to really just think about things further, or was holding a mirror up to those that were thinking about it,
Mm, mm,
and experiencing this disillusionment. And often when you are a dissenter, when you dissent when with things that are happening socially, it can actually be quite lonely.
mm.
And I think, yeah, if we sort of look at the one of the first lyrics, I walk a lonely road, the only one that I've ever known. It's like I think a bit differently to other people, and it feels a little bit lonely. I mean, it also reeks of attachment wounds. It also reeks of like, disconnection,
Mhm.
relationally. But maybe it also speaks to the loneliness that when you are a dissenter and you are having ideas that are contrary to what the government's doing and the populace, it can actually feel like a really lonely place on that boulevard of broken dreams over there
Mm,
that
mm.
he's walking alone. But actually, I was going to mention before we sort of get a bit further into the psychological
Yeah.
analysis, like we did choose this song because we had a think together during our last. I was about to say session. It wasn't a session.
Our last episode.
Our last episode. We were
There's
having.
these technically are sessions.
They are sessions. Yeah, they are.
The
We
second
are.
half of it's a session, I guess.
Yeah, we are therapizing songs. Well, we're just
Mm,
riffing on it. There's
that's
no
it.
absolutes. We're just hypothesizing.
Hmm.
But we did think about maybe bringing in a song that sort of, sounds like it's quite negative and quite pessimistic, but actually has some positive aspects.
To it.
That
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
Unlike Mr. Rick Astley going us with the poppy tunes, and really it's not so
it's
poppy.
it's a dark turn, isn't it?
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna give you up. I'm just gonna stalk you for the rest of your life. Um,
Mm.
so there are some embers of hope in this song, I think. There are some subtle but psychologically important positive tones kind of hiding under the hoodie of despair.
Yeah. And I, and I think that's what Green Day's is trying to do as well. They're trying to say, yeah, we went through a shitty period, like it's shit, but
Yeah.
we can get through it together, and we're
Yeah.
here to help.
And we're here to help. You're not alone. You're not alone in feeling these very difficult and conflicting feelings about,
Yeah,
what your country is doing politically and globally. And,
yeah,
it is a song, I think, about persistence and survival. That's one of the key little themes. He might be
hmm,
walking a lonely road, but he's still walking and
yep,
walking, and he's still moving forward. You
yeah,
know, if we want to think about, I mean, that's thinking about walking, metaphorically. He's still moving forward, but if we think about walking, actually, literally, I mean, there's a positive psychological tone there. We might call that, what we call in cognitive behavioral therapy, behavioral activation. It's just like when you
yeah.
feel hopeless and despairing, just do something. Just get moving. Just get moving.
Yeah,
Just
that's
do
it.
one little thing. Yeah. Carry on. What were you going
Well,
to say?
I have an interesting tidbit because I
Go ahead.
remember hearing like when it's that Billy Joe had connection to 9/11, and that's why this album that's what started this whole train of
Ah,
running. Um,
right.
one of the passengers on the flights was a father of one of his close friends.
Ah,
So one of the planes that went into the building, one of the towers, he was on that flight.
right.
Um, so
Yeah.
tragedy
Yeah.
hit him hard and influenced some of the
Yeah.
emotional weight that would later surface in the album. So you know,
Yeah.
it
Was
wasn't like a bandmate but it was well, a closest friend's
yeah.
parents. You grow up with that person, and you
Yeah. It's a
they're
degree of
practically
separation. it becomes real. It becomes tangible to you. You know, it's
Yeah.
when you see it on TV and you have no connection to it, it doesn't become real. Like it's not as real. It doesn't hit home as much as if you are personally connected to it in some
Yeah.
way. Then
Yeah.
it really hits differently. I think it you know like it creates probably m- maybe more intensifies a sense of disillusionment.
Mm. Now I got to
Uh,
ask, do you remember what you were doing on that day that it happened?
yeah, I do. It's so interesting. I was at uni and I was doing my undergraduate degree at uni, and I
Yeah.
was it my undergraduate? It might have been one of my graduate degrees. I don't know. Because that is how many years old I am. Anyway,
Yeah.
stop talking about my age. Um,
Age is only a number. It's what
it
you do with it.
really is. It
Yeah.
really is. I was doing an assignment and I was up really late because, of course, I'd left it to the last minute, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was sitting in front of the TV with all of my papers um, at the coffee table, like writing notes, and I would
Yeah.
go into the computer room because we had a computer room,
Yeah. Yeah. Separate room. Yeah. Yeah.
a separate room with the computer.
Hmm.
And yeah,
With
I
one of
was
those corner desks, back to the decor with the corner desk,
yeah,
the big wooden cordon desk.
totally the corner wooden desk.
Yeah.
How did you
So,
know? It was the early
because
two
that's
thousands.
the 90s slash 2000s era.
That's right. That's what I had. And the tower that you would
Yeah.
press the button on, the big CRT monitor.
Hmm.
Anyway,
The CD
so
rack.
yeah, I had a CD rack. Yep, yep. Well, you're all over it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I was doing an assignment and I was up really late and I was watching. I had the news on
Yeah.
when yeah, and I was watching it happen. Sandra Sully, Network 10. If for anyone in Australia who was up that late, I think it was like 11 o'clock at night, 11:30.
Mm.
I don't know. Where were you? How did you find out about it?
Oh, yeah, this is showing my age.
Yeah.
I was up getting ready for horse riding camp in high school.
Right. Okay, right.
Yeah,
So it was early morning for you. It was late night for me
early.
because I was
Yeah,
pulling an all-nighter. I ended
yeah.
up
I
getting an
was.
extension for that assignment too, by the
Oh, there you
way.
go.
I ended up being like, I can't finish this when the world is
Yeah,
burning.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I
I was. It
handed it
was.
in a day late. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, it was a year 9 horse riding camp.
Right.
Uh, I didn't. I think I probably was still a bit too young to grasp the the severity or the significance of
Mm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
What more hit me was when we were coming back home on the bus and everyone was talking about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I saw that on the news this morning or like a couple of
Yeah.
days ago. And I'm like, oh, that what it was. And then that's what's like
Yeah.
burnt in my brain is like the discussion and then like the in-depth
Wow.
discussion of it. But seeing it at the time, I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
like
See,
as a kid, you kind of don't.
No, you don't. I had a bit more probably critical thought about it because, I was a uni student and I remember
Mm,
thinking the world is never going to be the same. This
no,
is it. The world that I know is never going to be the same.
no.
Yeah. And it never was. So, yeah. Anywho, that's
At
yes.
least we got a good album out of it.
We got a great album out of it. Yes, we did. But, there's also so much tragedy in that event too
Oh,
that, created so many feelings that has, born artwork. But, yeah, just what a tragedy. Just, yeah,
mm,
I remember actually being so shocked that I could not finish that assignment and I had to
mm,
just like keep watching the coverage and just yeah thinking about those poor people and what it meant for humanity forevermore.
mm,
Anyway, but yes, Green Day harnessed those feelings, put it in an album for our listening pleasure.
mm-hmm. And it hasn't
Yes.
aged. Like you listen to it and it takes you
Mm.
back well,
Mm.
probably not every
Not
listener, but
as, yeah,
most listeners, they probably feel something going. I'd probably say more the American listeners were going through those years of that
yeah,
presidential years and everything that happened. They
yeah,
probably think, yeah, like that, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
hits
That's
home.
right. It really does. Yeah. I mean, this album probably doesn't take as far back as 2001 when it happened, but certainly the aftermath with the war, that just kept going and going and going.
Yeah,
And
and I think it was more of a revenge. It was. I think it was out of revenge that the war
mm,
happened. It wasn't like
mhm,
and I
mm,
think that's probably what upset a lot of. Look, I
mm,
could be wrong, but I feel like and especially Green Day, that's probably what upset and went, no, like that's not what it's all. It shouldn't. Okay,
mm,
it's sad, but it shouldn't be about revenge.
mm. Yeah,
That's what you're
yeah.
primarily focusing on is what about us everyday people instead of this whole revenge
Mm.
mentality.
Yeah, it kind of really, I think what Green Day got, hooked into was the futility of it. It was just futile,
Yeah,
this war. Um,
idiocy. It was just it's silly, idiot,
idiocy. Yeah, that's right.
idiocy.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, let's think about the positive aspects of this song. This song,
Mm,
we're stuck in the war, and that's part of the we sort of stuck in the post 9/11 sort of
mm,
fatigue and war fatigue, and that's part of the origins of this song and the motivation to write this song. But there are some positive interpretations. So we were sort of thinking about persistence and survival as maybe one of them. Like
mm-hmm,
just
mm-hmm.
walking that lonely road, but walking. You're still walking. You're still moving
That's right.
forward, and
That's it.
that speaks a bit to grit. That psychological construct of kind of maintaining a sustained effort even though you're emotionally exhausted, you're still moving forward.
That's
That's what
it.
you're doing.
100%. He hasn't given
So
up.
he hasn't given up.
That's the easy way
Even
out.
a numb shuffle is not giving up. Right? The
That's right.
smallest steps matter, don't they? They
They
really
do.
do.
They do.
Especially when you're walking along the Boulevard of Broken Dreams and you're really seeing a lot of shit that's going to make you want to give up.
Yeah.
But so long as you're shuffling, you're still moving forward.
Because there's
So
always light at the end of the tunnel.
that's right.
Nothing's
Exactly.
forever.
Nothing
Nothing
is
is forever.
forever. No feeling is final. Things change. The world and life is dynamic and it keeps, moving on and moving forward. But
100%.
and I think there's also a theme of self-reflection and awareness in this song. The lyric like read between the lines, what's fucked up and everything's all right.
Mm,
Again, this is about metacognition that we talked about earlier, thinking about your own thinking, like taking a
mm,
moment to step back and saying, "Well, what is fucked up and what is all right?"
mm.
And why am I thinking this particular way, or what do I actually think about this thing, and where does that thinking come from? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's reflective functioning at its finest. That's a positive psychological spin on this song. um, it's
Oh yeah. You're not being you're not being a normie. Well, I'm going to say
yeah.
idiosync's
Well,
terms.
yeah,
You're not
you're not being
conforming to everyone.
and you're not being an idiot. You're not just accepting things as they are. You're not
Nah.
accepting, some of the arbitrary decisions that the government makes. If you are thinking about the way that you're thinking and you have reflective capacity, then you are not an American idiot. You
Yeah,
know,
that's right. Yeah.
Even though we're talking about the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, but
But it's
I
true.
think
They tie in. Well, Boulevard of Broken Dream is the second track on the album after American Idiot. So
after
they
American
tie in.
Idiot,
They tie
they
in
do.
very, very
Yeah,
well.
they're best friends.
Yeah, best
Those
friends.
two tracks. Yeah.
And how easy it to be influenced. And that's what you look up to your government, don't you? Like because that's where you
Mhm.
live, and that's I live in this country, and I expect that
Yeah.
the leaders running this country, I look after them
Yeah.
because they're here to look after us.
Yeah, right. But really, if you've got reflective functioning, you see that they're not. They're only in it for themselves. So this album, this song asks us to question that, you know.
Yeah.
But there's also hope in this song that's like, even if you can't make the powers that be that change, you can still have a longing to find your people, to
Mm.
find connection where they share the same values as you. The lyric, sometimes I wish someone out there will find me, is maybe, a hopeful drive to attach to someone relationally that
Mm.
shares the same viewpoints as you.
Yeah.
And that you still want to be seen by someone else. Yeah, so I think that's a positive spin on this track. Another idea I had about this track, was we're
Mm.
kind of looking for the positive psychology in a fairly negative song, is sort of around this idea of like radical acceptance,
Mm.
where Billy Joe says, "I walk alone." This is kind of a tightrope between defeat and empowerment, I reckon.
Yeah.
There's a bit of radical acceptance here that, like, you know, I'm in the minority with my views. I might have to
Mm.
walk alone. I radically accept that. Even though it's painful, I accept it without resistance.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm
you
still
know,
alive.
but I'm
So
still
that.
alive and I'm still defiant in choosing to walk alone.
Hmm.
So, choosing solitude can sort of be a bit of uh, I don't know, like, it's an autonomous step. It shows your
Mm.
agency.
Mm.
Uh, it's, yeah, I think that's just a bit of a little positive spin on this song, is that, I can choose to be alone. I can choose to be
Mm.
alone, and I can be okay with that. I
Yeah.
can have a desire to connect, and I can choose to walk alone, and I can choose solitude, and I can choose to not have the same views as all of these American idiots, and I'm going to be okay.
Mm. Yeah. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. I have this person I know in their younger days. They used to say, "Oh, I've got so many friends, like 10, 15. Like, how many friends have you got?" I'd be like, "Oh, maybe one or two." "Oh, well,
Mhm.
I've got 15 friends." I'm like, "Yeah, but how many of those 15 friends are actually real friends
Right.
that are going to stick around and be there for you you
Mhm.
when you need them?" For
Mhm.
example, I
Yeah.
can tell you now, probably out of those 15, maybe one. It's down to like
Mhm.
one friend is, and so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. At the end of the day, you go out on your own. You
Mhm.
can't be relying on other people. You got to
Yeah.
do it on your own.
And wouldn't you
Um,
rather like one or two people that you deeply connect with that share the same values as you than connecting with a whole lot of sheeple that
yeah.
like don't share the same values as you, don't hold the mirror up to your struggle with your thoughts about the government?
Mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm,
you know. So, yes, there's a
100%.
whole there's a whole lot of themes here about solitude and aloneness, and wanting to connect with who matters, which are people that share the same views as you.
Mm,
So there is some hopeful, positive psychological spin on this song. I mean, there's also some, like, there's always a negative spin, isn't there? There's a bit of
there is.
loneliness here, but it's not so it's not as pessimistic as we think. It's got more
No.
agency and more autonomy, to choose being alone rather than aligning yourself with people whose viewpoints you don't share.
Or feeling
Mm.
sorry, like feel sorry for me because I'm alone. You know.
Yes, yeah. Well, that victim mentality of I'm alone and I'm lonely. No, no.
Yeah.
I've chosen to be alone. I've
That's right.
chosen to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Yeah, I mean, this is a great song of, uh, I think of, someone who is, what's the word I'm looking for? Someone who is a dissenter. They
Mhm.
dissent with what the populace is trying to push, what the government is trying to push, and they're taking a
Mm.
stand. And even though there is a sense of loneliness and disconnection, they are continuing to move forward. So if this was a therapy patient,
Mm.
I'm going to say go you for not needing to attach to the perpetrator just so you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah, that's right.
oftentimes what we do is so we don't feel alone, we attach to people that don't often share our viewpoints or our
Mm.
morals or our values just so we don't feel alone. So, yeah,
Yeah.
if this is
Steer
a
us down the
therapy
wrong path.
patient, yeah, correct. So if this is a therapy patient, they would not be steered down the wrong path. They would be really strongly connected to their sense of agency and who they are
Mm.
and what they believe in. So I would be commending them upon that. I mean, I think this patient is probably going to have a lot of existential, you know, questions and dread about, and a lot of
Mm.
disillusionment about the government and about the government's choices and about pain and suffering and humanity. And in therapy we don't fix that, we just sit with that, and
Mm.
we uh contain people's feelings about that, particularly with what was going on in the world then and what is going on in the world today. There is so much disillusionment, and the therapy really is to just take action where you can,
Mhm.
uh, you know, if you can, to in your own life and personally and quietly enact your values that are, all the values that you have that are in opposition to what's going on in the world, uh, globally with wars and conflicts. To show kindness and compassion, and to find a space, within yourself where you can act that within your
Mm.
means to do so, but to
Yeah.
also for us to just sit with the feelings of just how awful the world can be. And for everything else, there's music. That if you
That's
if you
it.
if you can't get to therapy, music is just as good. You just got to have some good metacognition about it. You've got to think about, or some good reflective capacity, which is like, what is Billy Joe really saying here? What does this
Yeah.
really mean? How does this mirror my own story? What can I take away from this? How can I change my thinking? Uh,
Mm. Mm.
yeah. So that's the nice bow that I'm going to put on Boulevard of Broken Dreams
Yeah.
by Green Day.
But Billy Joe, not but Billy Joel.
Yeah, that's right, by Billy Joe. That's
I feel like
right.
we need to do it. That next episode, we need to do Billy Joel just to
I think
contrast.
we do. Have you seen the Billy Joel documentary on Apple um,
I
TV?
don't have it. I don't have Apple
You don't
TV.
have it. Oh, well, I might have to not give you my login. You might have to come over for a viewing party.
Oh
I'll prepare.
yes,
I'll prepare the popcorn.
sounds good. Research on the next episode. Sounds good.
Research on the next episode. All right, AJ. Well, it was lovely discussing Green Day and the MySpace era
Mm.
with you. You took
Oh,
me
I
back.
miss those. I know. Same here.
Now I just want to sing Jimmy Eat World Middle. It just takes some time in the middle of yeah.
Yeah.
I've been transported back. I
Oh,
might I might dig through my closet and see if I can find my tartan slacks.
oh, yeah. Bring him to the next episode.
Yeah, look out, world. All
That's
right. Well,
it.
until then, you take good care.
Ciao.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in to Songs on the Couch. We hope you enjoyed putting today's song under the microscope with us.
And hey, the conversation doesn't have to end here. Join us over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search Songs on the Couch, where we're sharing behind-the-scene clips, more fun music insights, and of course, chatting with you all.
And if you're an artist, musician, psychologist, counsellor, psychotherapist, or know someone who'd love to sit on the couch with us, have your management reach out. We'd love to hear from you at hello@songsonthecouch.com.
Follow us, subscribe, and let's keep rocking out together. Catch you next time on Songs on the Couch.